What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Mint Hill Shoe Market for another first run review. And today we have a shoe that I am extremely excited about and also extremely nervous about. It is from Brooks, and sitting on top of the box we have the Brooks Ghost Max 1. Inside the box, as you probably saw from the title, we have the 2. So why am I nervous? I am nervous because the Ghost Max 1 was my favorite walking shoe of all time. We have a new one that's come into the office recently. Stay tuned for that. That might have knocked it off the perch. But this was an awesome shoe, one of the best shoes for standing on your feet all day. I've recommended it to a ton of doctors, nurses, hosts, hostesses, restaurant workers, tour guides, safari guides. Any profession where you need to stand up for a long time, stand up! Ghost Max is an absolute banger for that. And the reason I'm nervous is because, look at this. Look at this foam. Boom. It's a great foam for walking, and then bang, this is the Glycerin 21. They're slapping the foam that's in here in the Ghost Max 2. That's the big change. I'm not sure how it's going to be for running. I'm not sure how it's going to be for walking, more importantly. So there's only one way to find out, guys. Let's get into it. We're rusty. A little put back. Kristaps. Alright guys, so before we open the box here, I wanted to show you the shoes we brought out to display on the top. So these are some of my favorite Max Cushion shoes, also your favorite Max Cushion shoes, and then the other shoes in the Brooks lineup. So more V5. This is a complete banger. This is my favorite Max Cushion shoe of the year. It's amazing for running. It's amazing for walking. I actually had 2 people recently, one of them being my wife, tell me though that the toe box is just killing them. Charlie showed me this blister, and then this other dude, Nicholas, commented that the toe box is also giving him blisters. So I didn't have any blister issues, but you might need to get a wide in this if you have a slightly wider foot. But the ride in here is incredible. One of the best shoes of the year. I put it on my top 10 list that I released yesterday, so go check that video out if you haven't seen it. It's soft, but it's bouncy. It runs a lot lighter and faster than it looks. I actually hit some faster than marathon pace in this guy, just completely cruising. So great shoe, comfortable, supportive, got decent stability from the heel out in the back, and it looks a little bit funky, but I think that's cool in 2024, right? And then Clifton 9, man, from Hoka. This is just a classic. If you need a walking shoe, a casual shoe, this is a go-to for a lot of people. And I know you're going to be asking me, why don't you have the Skyflow out here? I don't have the Skyflow because Hoka didn't send it to me yet. And here's the thing, guys. We're at the point now where these brands say they're going to send me stuff. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they send it to me on time, like New Balance, at the same time as everyone else. Sometimes I'm on the Tier B priority list. And I thought I was in the Tier A list for Hoka. It turns out I'm not. So I didn't get the Skyflow yet, and I'm trying to be a responsible father and not just be out here blowing racks on shoes. So if it doesn't show up within the next few weeks, I'm just going to go ahead and buy the Skyflow. But for now, Clifton. Hoka is known for Max Cushion shoes. This is their main one that a lot of people buy. And then boom, Glycerin from Brooks. This is a stalwart. So this is the OG, really, in the Max Cushion comfort category, $160, but it is a little bit more traditional. It has the 10mm drop. So if you look at this right here, that's the difference between the front and the back. It gives it a little bit more of an aggressive stance, makes it good for heel strikers. Difference between the Ghost Max and the Glycerin is that the Ghost Max has a lower drop. So even though they're going with the same foam in the Ghost Max 2, going to have a little bit of a flatter profile, more of a rocker up in the front, and should be better for more foot strikes. That was my one issue with the Glycerin. I actually really enjoyed it, but the 10mm drop, even for me as more of a heel striker, was getting in the way a little bit. Maybe I'm transitioning to be more of a midfoot striker. I don't know. But the 10mm drop sometimes is, if you don't like that feeling, it is noticeable in here, and sometimes is not the best. So with that, guys, let's tear open the box. Put some respect on the Brooks name. Shout out to Brooks for sending this to me, even though I called the Glycerin your mom's favorite daily trainer. Look at that, guys. Look at that. You can be a complete clown, and you can still get the shoes. So you know one thing I love about Brooks? I love their motto. Run happy. I resonate with that. No, that resonates with me. I can't resonate with something. That's a common grammar mistake. That resonates with me. All right, let's tear this up. Oh, by the way, guys, run happy. That reminds me, the Hobby Jogger running hats, this is the trucker, but the running hats are for sale on pre-order. I actually think all mine might be in the wash right now because I gave a bunch of them out, and now I'm down to 4 or 5 or something, which is kind of a problem. But we got the pre-order, and they're going to be shipping out first week of August. Thank you to everybody who's already ordered. They're fire. I'll make sure that I show some in the one more thing so you can get a close-up view. But we are tearing open the Ghost Max 2 box. And there's someone right now who's never watched the channel before and saying, 5 minutes in, he doesn't even show the shoe yet? It's complete shenanigans. Yes, it is complete shenanigans. Shenanigans, clown behavior, and tomfoolery. That is what we stand for. All right. Ghost Max 2. I already know what colorway this is going to be because it said it on the box, unfortunately. But let's see if it's as fire as I think it's going to be. Bada boom. Ooh. Bada bing. It's clean, but it looks exactly like the Glycerin. This is the thing, guys, and I'm glad we got it in this colorway. Man, this is a great example of the question that I've been asking myself recently. Do these brands have too many shoes? And the reason I've been thinking about this is actually because of New Balance. They have so many shoes, and a lot of them are great, and I'm trying to describe the differences. This one is smooth, bouncy, it's great for chewing up a bunch of miles, and it's comfortable underfoot. All of them are great. There's slight differences, but the use case for a lot of these shoes is super similar. I mean, look at this. Same exact foam. The design is really similar. You got some different contouring on the Ghost Max 2, but the main difference between these two is going to be the drop. That's really the key difference between the Ghost Max 2 and the Glycerin. So this is flatter. You have a lower drop, meaning less of a difference between the back of the shoe and the front of the shoe, versus the Glycerin. Again, you have the higher drop. So let's take a deeper dive into the Ghost Max 2 here. It also feels, is it a little bit lighter weight? It doesn't feel too heavy, which I'm glad about. I was worried that it was going to be super heavy. But yeah, this foam, man, it even feels like it got firmer. So the deal with the Ghost Max 1 was that this was a shoe that was great for walking but not running. That is the part that I did not say it. I did not love it for running, and actually towards the end of its life I started liking it, or when I pulled it out of my rotation I started liking it a bit more, but just not as bouncy as a lot of the other options, not as exciting as the More V5, not even as bouncy as something like the Glycerin. So that's the key difference with this foam here. I'm hoping this adds a little bit more bounce and pep. But Brooks is also known for their durability, so let's take a look at the bottom. The outsoles are nearly identical. And the other thing is the Ghost Max 1 came out less than a year ago. And so the reason why they did that was because apparently they wanted to use up this foam compound that's in the 1 before they launched the 2. So this was kind of a soft launch of this new line. Allegedly, that's what I've heard. I'm not sure if it's true. So that's why you have the quick turnaround on the Ghost Max 2. And it's also why I think they messed up the design a little bit. Because the Ghost Max came out so recently and is so fresh, they had to make some arbitrary changes to it to differentiate it and to make it look different. So they added more ornamentation. They added this swirl. It just doesn't look as clean to me. I loved the design of the Ghost Max. This is a classic. I actually think this is a shoe where in 10, 15 years, if people are doing retros, and yes, I do think there'll be Brooks retros, this is a great silhouette. I think this is one of the best running specific silhouettes to come out over the last 5 years. I know we're all about the Vomero 5 in the streetwear right now and the Gel Cumulus 3. Bro, pull up with the Ghost Max 1 and put some respect on that drip. Get out of here. Jaylen Brown. I'm like Jaylen Brown. You know why? Because I just speak my mind. Bronny is not a pro. I'm just kidding. You think LeBron runs? That's a good question. You think LeBron considers himself a hobby jogger? This is my question, guys. I've asked Charlie this before. If LeBron showed up to a local, let's say a 10K, because I'm sure he's not in half marathon shape all the time just because of the rules of specificity, the law of specificity. If LeBron showed up to your local 10K, what pace is he holding? You think he could put down a sub 40 for a 10K? We'll give him a pair of Alpha Flies or whatever. Is LeBron putting down a sub 40? And then let's say Jimmy Butler, he's probably the most fit NBA player. Maybe Jimmy Butler. He shows up to, let's call it a 5K. You think he can hold a 6:30 pace or faster? Question of the day. Can Jimmy Butler hold a 6:30 pace at your local 5K fun run? Now we got to do the weigh-in. Bro, it's a malaria summer out here right now. Oh my goodness. This is just ridiculous. So let's put the Ghost Max 2 on the scale. I've heard it's gone up a little bit in weight. Whoa, baby. Hold on. So this is the issue. The Hoka Skyward X, when it came out, was getting chastised, beaten down, verbally abused for being a heavy shoe, 334 grams. And then you pull up with the Ghost Max 2, 325 grams, almost the same weight. That is, man, so the difference is here. You get a ton of race foam. It's almost 50 millimeters of stack in the back here. You get the carbon fiber plate. This is one of the bounciest shoes I've ever run in. Ghost Max 2. This doesn't even look as tall as some daily trainers. This is probably lower stack than the Nova Blast, which I might have to... Actually, I'm not going to pull it out, but that's 284 grams. So, man, on the heavier side for sure. And the foam, is the foam heavier? It's weird that they would introduce a heavier foam. Let me try to look at some of the key differences here. I'm just not sure what's going on with this guy. All right, this is I'm already getting skeptical of this shoe. I was skeptical, now I'm even more skeptical. So, yeah, they've definitely added more structure to the back. They've added more bulk and padding. What else have they added? I don't like the way the upper looks. Man, this is making me sad. We're going to have to rip through this weigh-in because I just want to go run in it. But let's put the More V5 on, which is another thick, tall max cushion shoe. This is, 347 grams? That is crazy. Oh, it's still wet from my run yesterday. That's kind of disgusting. It smells weird too. Let's see if this one is still wet. 350. Oh my goodness. That is really heavy. I think when we first weighed this, it was in the 330s. But let's try the Clifton. Bada boom. 271 grams. So not as much stack, not as much cushion here. So it's coming in at a little bit of a lighter weight. And then let's throw our friend the Glycerin on. This is coming in exactly 300 grams. So it's a little puzzling that the stack is pretty similar between the Glycerin and the Ghost Max, just looking at them. Let's look from the back. It almost looks like the Glycerin is even taller. It almost looks like it's wider, if not the same exact width. So it's puzzling that the Ghost Max 2 would be so much heavier. And then let's look at the rubber. Really similar amounts of rubber. So I don't know. We'll see. We have to see how they run. Let us just get this thing on foot. That is a heavy boy. But the thing is, guys, you've heard me say this before. It's not all about the weight of the shoe. It's about the benefit we're getting, and that's why I wasn't too worried about the weight of the Skyward X, because of how much bounce we're getting. Now with this guy being a more simple shoe, I am a little bit more concerned about the weight, because for this type of a shoe, I want something that makes it easy to turn over the legs. I'd probably use this as a recovery day shoe or a nice relaxed daily trainer. And how's it going to be with so much bulk and cushion? But we'll see. There's only one way to find out, guys. Let's lace this thing up and get it on foot. Ooh, that was fun, huh? That was cute. Hold on, QA check. I always forget the QA check. All right, so the first one was 326. This left one is, 329.5, a little off Brooks is usually on point with this, but at this weight, that's nothing. That's less than 1% different between the two. So we'll be fine. All right, let's see if I can nail this one. Okay, I'm just trash today. I can build a house with these bricks. Alright guys, lacing up. The Ghost Max 2. It does have soft laces. That's nice, huh? Some soft laces. I'm also a little bit worried. Man, this tongue is thick. It's like they dialed up the cushioning and everything 5% on this guy. The first one was great. You know what I wish they did? They should have done a Ghost Max 0.5 and just put the new foam in there, because I love the silhouette. I love how the upper felt. And on stepping, this is comfortable. It's a comfortable upper. I have enough room. The fit seems a little... This looks... Yeah, man, look at this. I don't know if it's just me, but from the top, it looks a touch narrower. I do think they narrowed this out just a touch in the forefoot. I don't know. It could be my eyes playing tricks on me, but that's how it feels looks from the top too. It looks like it's just a touch narrower. And yeah, the upper is also, man, okay. We'll have to see how it runs, but I'm a little bit sad about some of these changes they've made, because the reason I loved the Ghost Max versus everything else is because it was just so comfortable, and some of these changes, and easy to have on foot, some of these changes are making me feel like they've triumphed it. They've oomphed it just too much. And then at the same time, they made it a little narrower. If that's the case, I don't know. The narrowness thing might not be true. But all right, let's do a little walk comparison between these. Also, it does fit true to size. Before we do that, it does fit true to size. Length is good. Let me drink some water. Yeah, length is good. Volume is good. I'm just complaining for no reason. I apologize, guys. All right, quick little walk test here. So the 2 is most certainly not as soft and flexible as the 1 is right now. The 1 just feels broken in, but they do feel very similar on foot. They feel very similar on foot. This little walk test made me a little bit less nervous for what the differences will be and what the changes will be. But let's do a little quick jog test. Oh, flies, get away. All right, guys, 1 jog. Everybody knows the rules. Ghost Max 1, the OG with the laces flopping around, letting you know he's been in the game for a while. He doesn't care how he looks. It's the Ghost Max 1, baby, versus the newcomer, the latest and the greatest. Is it going to be the greatest? We know that it's the latest. The Ghost Max 2, and it doesn't even say 2 on it, because Brooks knows it's a weird thing that they kind of did right there, where they just did the 1 and then bang, the 2 out of nowhere. A little 9-month turnaround. Let's go. Let's get a jog test. These 2 shoes are very similar, and I actually think the changes in the Ghost Max 2 might make this a little bit more protective feeling than the 1. The 1 was very protective, but it feels like they've upped the density a little bit more, which might make this an even better shoe for what the running value is, what the running benefit of it. And for me, this was a great shoe because if you put a lot of force, if you put a lot of power down into it, sorry, this one, if you put a lot of force, you put a lot of power down into it, it still had the protection. This guy feels like it's gonna give me even more of that. So I'm less nervous. I also think we'll probably get a little bit more bounce, but there's only one way to find out. So let's lace this up and do that. All right, so plan for the run. We are gonna get, I'm actually not sure, 10 to 12 miles. And oh, look, they do have the 2 right here. And it's a little bit weird because they say Ghost 2 Max. Ghost 2 Max? Shouldn't it be the Ghost Max 2? Are they trying to kill off the beloved Ghost? No, they're not gonna do that. It does feel like a little bit more shoe on foot, I have to say, in this 2. But yeah, we're going to get some nice relaxed mileage in this morning. I'm coming off of 2 straight double run days in a row, 2 straight 20-mile doubles. And yeah, we're feeling probably a little bit banged up. So this is the perfect run to test the Ghost Max 2. How's this going to be for some nice recovery time on feet? Probably an hour to 90 minutes. Just cruising. Does it still have that comfort and cushion of the first one? And is it a little bit better for bopping along? I felt like for running, I had to put more effort than I wanted to turn this over. So is that resolved in the 2? Because the Glycerin, I did not feel that way, but I did feel like with the Glycerin, I had to run a little bit faster than I wanted to. So will this be the sweet spot? Will this be easy to run in and let me run at a nice recovery pace? All right, I want to put this puppy back and then let's get into this run. So I realized I have just enough time for 10. Might have to even just do 8, depending on how the legs are feeling, if I can crank it up or not. But early overreaction to the Ghost Max 2. This feels identical to the Ghost Max 1. That's my early overreaction. The geometry, how it feels to land, except there is slightly more bounce. Definitely does not feel like a race foam, but I'm getting a little bit more bounce. But the great thing about the 1 was that it was so smooth, so comfortable, and so far all that's still here. I do not think they messed this up. So heavier, yes. Did they mess it up? I don't think so. Oh, by the way, I was able to snag one of these from the washer. All right, little leg check here on the straightaway. I'm actually feeling okay. And man, am I getting some good bounce out of these. This is how I felt about the Glycerin. So we've done enough yapping and yammering, and I need to focus so I can get my 10 miles in before my call. So I'm just gonna let it fly and see you when I see you. I don't know when that is. See you when I see you. When I wanna be you. And I'm gonna pee you. Boom, bang, bang, bop. All right, mile 1, you're seeing me now. So far, this thing is a complete cruiser. I'm hanging at 7 flat pace, and it feels so easy to turn over, so bouncy, and so smooth. So it retains what I liked about V1, but more of that pep, way more of that pep. And the rubber is super grippy. All right, I'm gonna focus and run. Let's talk about the rubber after. YouTube video title. Don't be scared of this ghost. All right, mile 7 here. We are ripping. I don't know what pace, but definitely faster than my normal everyday pace, but it's a little cooler. Temperature makes a big difference, man. Bouncy, smooth, and robust. This is a clean banger. Clean banger. Put in Work by A$AP Ferg. Clean version. Put in work. So fast you can park 10 Tahoes on it. Ah! All right, let's see. I'm drinking noon high. It helped me sleep. Oh my God. All right, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. 6:48 pace. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. We were moving and grooving. 1 hour, 8 minutes, 25 seconds. And we were moving, but we weren't mashing. We weren't blasting pace. We weren't trying to get out there and rip it. So this is what's telling me my fitness is catching up to my mileage. And what I mean when I say that is if you look at my half marathon PR or my 10K PR, a 6:50 pace will be within the range of what the calculators say my everyday running pace should be. But with my higher mileage, I'm not able to hit the high top end pace of that everyday range. Usually I'm closer to a minute slower than that, 7:50, 7:30. That's more my everyday pace. Even 8 for a long time. I was running 8:10 pace every day because that's how I was able to run the high mileage and build up my base. And that's the important piece of getting faster for us newer runners. And yes, I'm a newer runner, even 4 or 5 years in, is building up the base, getting more time on feet, getting those molecular, cellular, all the adaptations in the body. Get your body more efficient at delivering oxygen. Get the mitochondria popping. You get the whole system cranking up by running higher mileage. You can run faster with lower effort because your body is more efficient. That's really the key. So, man, 6:50 pace didn't feel like... I'll check my heart rate. We'll see if it was... And I don't train by heart rate, but I just want to check so I can show you. It says my average heart rate was 163. I don't know if I buy that. Yeah, look at here. Look at this. And this is why I don't use the wrist-based heart rate. You can see that it spiked up to 178, so it's tracking my cadence. I'm guessing my heart rate was closer to 150, but the effort was there. Effort was relatively low, which is good. So, nice 10-miler. I don't know really why I went on that detour. I think I was just trying to say high mileage is good. And if you want to get faster, you can run high mileage. The other thing is that it's nice and cool this morning, or cooler than I'm used to recently. So I was able to rip it a little bit more. But man, this is a solid shoe. Like the Glycerin, it's a job doer. But I think the changes that they made from the Glycerin to this, the rocker, the lower drop, does elevate it a little bit from a job doer to a banger. And it is a little bit heavy, but man, so at my size, 6'2", 155, 160, I think I'm probably dropping down to 155. I have to go weigh myself right now, but in the words of Lil Baby on the Boss Man D-Lo song, he says 155, but I'm still the biggest. Put some respect on us 155, 160 pounders. But at my size and pace, I'm putting down some pretty good force into the shoe. And this is a shoe that can stand up to it, man. This is going to be a great big guy everyday running shoe. I know the Hurricane is one that I need to test to see how that does. We don't have the, oh man, I have 1 minute. All right, guys. I'll talk to you about big guy shoes and daily trainers in a bit. We got a Zoom call. I'm going to hop in the shower real quick. And we're going to get out there in a second. I'm not going to bother you too much with my food and all the shenanigans today, but I did want to show you this. Look, these are the Trader Joe's vegan meatballs, and they're calling them vegan and plant-based. These are not plant-based. What is it? Textured soy protein concentrate? Bro, that's not plant-based. And this is the thing. This is why I always say I eat like this. I eat vegan because it works for me, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's cleaner or healthier. I don't use that word, man. And this is why words matter. This is why I get all up in arms about what brands call their foams. Man, plant-based, this is just some anti-Orwellian shenanigans. Okay, this is not plant-based. This is processed. This is processed AF. Processed as food. That's what AF stands for. All right, let's go do the breakdown, man. I gotta put these in though. I'm hungry. I'm gonna get hangry. I'm gonna get hangry if I don't put these in ASAP. Me to put a shirt on, man. How you like me now? How you like me now, bro? Alright guys, 10 miles in the Brooks Ghost Max 2. You don't have to be scared of this ghost. It's a new friendly ghost in town here. And man, look at this. We got some damage on this. Is this a shoe that I should just completely beat into the ground? Is this gonna look sick? Super dirty because it's all white. I wish I got Charlie. I should have asked to get Charlie a pair of these because she completely destroys shoes. It would be cool to see how these look just completely mucked up. But we got 10 miles today in the still pure white. I was gonna make a joke. I can't make, this is the thing. I just really don't want to get canceled. This is pure white Ghost Max 2. We got 10 miles at a 6:48 pace. Let's throw up the little thing. I'll step to the side. Let's throw up the Strava splits up there. So this was a great run. It's also starting to rain now. Man, I feel like if I don't see, this is exactly what I was gonna say. If I don't roll right in from the run to the breakdown, and this is why I'm shirtless half the time, because I'm not gonna put on a shirt after running 6 to 12 miles in the 90-degree heat usually. Luckily this morning was 75, and there's a lot of jack A's out there, as Obama said about Kanye, man. There's way too many donkeys out there just talking, okay? Why would I put on a shirt after running 12 miles in the 95-degree heat? If that's your thought process, stop watching my videos, go put some miles in, and I think that'll probably put you in a better mood, all right? But this was the run from this morning. We were out here just, I'm not even gonna say putting in the work, because we were putting in the work, but it was fun, it was smooth, this shoe is great for that. It's a workhorse shoe that has a little bit more fun to it. So when I did the Brooks that girl thought I was crazy. All right, let's get this out of here. When I did the Brooks Glycerin 21 first run review, I said this is a job doer. It's a shoe that you could put on. It feels robust, it feels substantial, it's not gonna bottom out. And someone asked me today for best shoe picks for big guys. It's just one of those days, man. We just gotta keep it rolling. Someone asked me today for best shoe picks for big guys that are not going to bottom out. I actually have a clip from our friend Drew from Wear Testers. I got to throw it up on the gram. Make sure to go follow the gram, Sup While Running. We'll get all these short snippets. There's another car coming. I'm just going to roll through it. But I told him Saucony Kinvara Pro, Asics Nova Blast 4, Brooks Glycerin 21, Hoka Skyward X. I think those are my 4. I might have one more, but Kinvara Pro, that is the #1 shoe for big guys. It's not going to bottom out. You can put some poundage and some pace in there. This is another one that's going to go up there with the Glycerin 21. It's just slightly different flavors, so it does feel very similar. It's the same exact foam as the Glycerin 21, and this is a super critical EVA foam. You guys know I don't always go deep down into the tech, but what that means, super critical during the manufacturing process, they inject some gas. In this case, it is nitrogen. Brooks injects nitrogen into this foam. They call it the DNA Loft V3. That gives us this little bit of a bouncier, airier character, but it's weird because it still is a little bit of a heavier foam. Traditionally, these supercritical foams are lighter. So that's why I don't talk about the tech all the time, because you can have a supercritical EVA like this, that's firm, substantial, robust, and then you can have a supercritical EVA like the Hoka Mach 6, that's a little bit lighter, airier, not as dense, almost like a vanilla soft serve. This is like the French vanilla Haagen-Dazs, if you know what I mean. You scoop that thing out, it is thick. Or maybe like some Oatly. If you ever tried the Oatly vanilla ice cream, bro, that thing slaps. That's what we're getting down here. It's a little bit of a denser foam, almost like a Light Strike Pro for training. And it's interesting because Adidas, none of their training foams really have the same character as Light Strike Pro, but this is a good comparison. So if you like the feeling of the Boston 12 or the Adios Pro 3, and you want that in an everyday package, boom, that's what this thing is. Can you see that? Do I need to do a little? Man, that's the problem with these Arian shoes. They're hard to see on camera. All right, so the rain is even coming down a little bit more, but what I did want to say is it is a very smooth ride. That's the different flavor you're getting out of this versus the Glycerin. The Glycerin has that nice balance. It has that job doer characteristic. It has that feeling of it's not going to bottom out, but it's not as smooth as this just because of the 10mm drop, even for me being more of a heel striker. But actually, my guy Matt, he didn't analyze my stride or anything. He told me that you can't identify your own foot strike. He said most people misidentify their own foot strike. I guess there's been some sort of a study on that. So I think I'm a heel striker. Maybe I'm actually a midfoot striker. I know I'm not a forefoot striker, but regardless, I do land more on the back of the platform. I can tell that through my wear patterns. Of course, we don't have a lot of wear on this guy yet, but you can see today, interestingly, we actually do have more wear on the front here, and I think that's because, I mean, it does look like I was landing more midfoot today. I also think that's because of the rocker and my pace. We were just gripping and ripping up in the forefoot, and this is not a bad shoe for throwing down some steady miles at all. So at 6'2", 155, 160 pounds, for me, I don't always get along with softer shoes running fast, and I actually really like this for putting down a 6:48 pace. So this is gonna be a great daily trainer for bigger runners. I predict it's going to be awesome durability. These Ghost shoes, they're known for getting 500, 600, 700 miles. This is the same exact foam as the standard Ghost. You just get more of a stack of it. And I also do think this is still going to be a nice walking shoe. I'm going to have to test it, and next time I come with a comparison or a review, maybe this is a contender for a 100-mile review, but next time I test the shoe, maybe I'll do a double day and we'll do some walking in there to see. Now, it is not as soft as the Ghost Max 1. I know that's going to be a question. How did the changes affect it? It didn't ruin the shoe. I actually think they made it a lot better for running, significantly better for running. It's not as soft though. But that's a good thing because the softness of the Ghost Max 1, now it wasn't a super squishy soft foam. Again, that was a good shoe that wasn't going to bottom out. But the issue with it was that it didn't have any pep and it felt like I couldn't run fast. So I would never attempt, well, I actually did attempt doing a run like today. That's Charlie. Okay, now she's going to see me out here. She's going to think I was just doing shoe tube all morning. I was not. Ghost Max 1 did not have as much bounce as this guy. It did not have as much pop, but this still does have the same exact geometry. I think they've made this pretty much identical. Everything about it is really similar feeling to the Ghost Max 1, just 10 to 15% better. Now, some comparisons that I'm gonna wanna do, this versus more V5, this versus, I guess that's the main one, maybe versus the Convara Pro or the Skyward X, but this is a really solid shoe, and I think if you want a little bit more of a structured, supportive, built-up max cushion shoe, not super soft, this is going to be a good pick. If you're a bigger runner and you want a daily trainer, this is going to be a good pick. I am really happy with it. I was running 640, 650. I think I had a 630 mile in there, and it felt really good. Now, downsides, if you're lighter on your feet, smaller runner, I don't think this is going to be the one for you. I would consider getting something like 1080 V13 probably if you want that softer, more just lighter, airier shoe, or even the Mach 6 if you're lighter on your feet. This is really going to be good for people who want more of that built up shoe. Then the Glycerin, if you do need a little bit more heel support, they have the GTS version of the Glycerin for stability. The stability on this was solid, but it is not a stability shoe. So if you're an aggressive heel striker or need some more support out in the back, I would go for the Glycerin. But man, if you want something that's good for daily miles, good for steady miles, probably going to be good for walking, I'll have to test it out. This is going to be a great pick. I was really nervous. I thought they were going to mess it up, and I was nitpicking in the beginning. I was completely nitpicking every little detail because I thought the weight would make it bad. I don't even know what they did with the upper here. That was slightly changing it, but change is not always bad. I need to get that out of my mindset. Change is not always bad. Sometimes there are good changes. They did not oomph this. I can tell you right now, they did not oomph this. They Mach 6'd it. Because the Mach 5 was also good, and then the Mach 6 was good. Sometimes you can have a shoe that changes for the better. And this shoe did change for the better. The new foam is much better for running. I'm probably going to get this up to 100 miles at some point this year, actually, because it is just such a good shoe. That might have to be a lot of walking. Maybe I'll start logging all my Strava walks, or all of my walks on Strava, so I can get the extra mileage to get it up to 100, because I think it's going to be kind of hard through just regular running. But the thing I did want to say is, I think this could also be a sleeper pick for a long run shoe, even though it is a little bit heavier. So I'll try to go at least 12 to 14 in the next video with this guy, maybe some sort of a double day situation to see how it does with some longer time on feet. I don't think it's going to bottom out. My question to answer there is, how is the weight going to do once we start getting up? Because it is bouncy, but it's not the bounciest foam like the Skyward X, where you're just getting a ton of return and the weight doesn't really matter. So that's the open question. How's the weight going to do for some more time on feet? But for anything 90 minutes and below, that's what we were at this morning. We had about an hour and change. Completely fine. Daily trainer, recovery shoe, big guy shoe, boom, bang, bang. Shout out to Warren Buffett. We got another sleeper hit here. Just Brooks coming with the clean colorways and good vibes, man. This is a good vibes one, even though the colorway triggers me a little bit. But shout out to Brooks. Shout out to everyone out there putting in the work. We got the Ghost Max 2 in the house. More testing coming soon. Hobby Jogger running hats for sale now in the description below. It's a good day. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend.